Hello. So my name is Michael. I'm actually part of NTT. I'm in innovation. So last week on the forum in Tokyo. Next week I will be at NTT Research in the Valley. And I'm in between here to show you something about the project. So maybe just try, this is about motorbikes, try to make it funny. Anybody of you who likes motorbikes? That's good. Anybody who rides motorbikes? That's good. Anybody who did ride a motorbike on a closed track? Yes? Okay. So I don't have to ask whoever did ride a motorbike on the TT, on the Isle of Man. I did it actually. In 2015 I was participating in the classics. And it's probably one of the most crazy things I did in my life. Okay, let's go into the story. We will start with a small video just to give you an idea about what it means. Well, there should be actually some sound.
That you're going to see some fantastic racing.
The atmosphere, so I say people come from all the way around the world to experience the TT. There's nothing like it that exists anywhere else.
It's probably the greatest show on earth.
TT Plus technology is key with this because it means that people around the world now can experience the TT, watch the TT and feel past the TT.
The TT races bring in about 45,000 visitors to the island. Over £30 million a year flows directly into the Isle of Man economy.
For those people that want to take part, it's the highlight of the year. It's their Mount Everest. It's great in this world of health and safety to be able to allow people still to ride a motorcycle as fast as they want around a closed course.
Ensuring that the safety aspects are front and centre of everybody's mind is the most significant thing for the racers, which is why we spend a considerable amount of money each year on increasing the safety around the course.
Well, on all vehicles that enter the road for maintenance or safety vehicles, we fitted a tracker. Now these GPS tracker units obviously receive a GPS signal. That signal then is communicated back to our software, our NTT software, and then on a map we can see where vehicles are, which direction they're flowing, reporting back to us that it's safe, there's no other vehicles on the road.
The reports that we get out of the AWS platform that NTT have built is a great starting point to really be able to provide spectators and riders the critical kind of analysis they're looking for. Faster speeds, what speeds, rider-to-rider diagnostics, lean angles, G-force, acceleration. The data is huge, so I think it can drive everything from the safety, including that spectator engagement.
The event itself got steeped in tradition, but it is absolutely increasingly uses technology, whether it's the bikes, whether it's the crews, working with partners such as NTT. In terms of AWS behind that, give us a real level of confidence. So the new timing system has been really well received by fans, by the teams themselves, being able to see what's happening.
Across the line he goes to win the Supersport TT at the Isle of Man.
I think this is the start of the journey with AWS and NTT.
This is setting new sights and new goals, and it's been exceptional. It's a great move forward for the TT.
So I hope you got a little bit the idea. So what is the TT? First of all, this is a very small island. I'm coming from Luxembourg, which is already small. That is even smaller, somewhere in the Irish Sea. It has a tremendous heritage when it comes down to racing. So this is basically an event which is 120 years old. There is no place like that because bikes are going with 200 miles per hour over a racetrack. And they do this without any safety barriers. So they go to the pubs and they go to the villages, they go to the forest and so on. And it's something which is obviously a huge risk for the people who sign up. And obviously it's a marketing slide, they like figures. You see that there are 165 competitors in these 120 years lost their lives. Now we can say this is probably a lot. Winter sport is more dangerous than that. Anyway, join me on a journey, because this is about making the TT the most dangerous race in the world as safe as possible. That's what the spectators wanted to have, and that's basically what it is. I start with being invited by a customer of us, the CTO of SES, which is the largest satellite operator on the planet. They invited me to watch the races. So I went there, and the year before they had an incident. So there was basically on all the racetracks in the world, you can just go one direction. Now in this case, because this is 60 kilometers long, they can send the bikes backwards if the racetrack is red flagged. So they sent them backward. There was a collision between a police car and one of the returning bikes. And then they had an audit, and they said, okay, if you want to do this race again, you have to make sure that for the next time, the non-competitive vehicles, as they call it, have to be monitored so that they have the position, the exact position of those for the next race, making it happen. And my friend, the CTO of SES, said, look, this guy is from NTT, is into innovation, he can make it happen. So this is how the whole story started. To make it short, in a couple of weeks, we built them based on an AWS solution with Google Maps, something that they can monitor the non-competitive vehicles. And that's where the story starts, because at the end, this resulted into a system which actually is the entire race management and race timing of the TT. So what does this mean? Basically, there was the desire for safety. In that sense, we see here that there are 57,000 people already digitally subscribed to it, and that's the first year. But in general, the point is that the event is very limited in terms of space. So if we want to expose that event to the world, we need a digital platform to do it. So that's one of the aspects. The other thing is the safety aspect. And they had an off-shelf product, which was a market-leading product, which is basically monolithic application managing those races. And as they have been very satisfied with the first pilot that we did, they said, great, maybe we would go into a new RFP and we would look for a new race management and timing system. So we applied to that, and we actually did win the contract, which is a contract of 5 years plus 5 years. So, but basically, what do we deliver within this thing? And that's quite interesting. So it's the heart of the TT, which is now entirely digitized. So what we are doing is we have a tracker on each and every one of those bikes. It's a very advanced edge device which is able to locate gear position, lean angle, acceleration, and everything from the bikes. But the tricky part of this is that you cannot have a reliable connection on the island. So while they are going over the island, we have somewhere to bring that data into AWS. And that's basically the only way that we have is the telco network, which is also not very good, because we have parts where there are no spectators. So, and the local telecom operators, 2 of them, are not so interested in just wasting money and putting a telco network over there. So that device is so clever that it stores with 10 hertz all that information, and then as soon as it gets somewhere a network connection, send bulk uploads into the AWS cloud, where we are storing all the data into a data lake, sorting it back, and then use it for race management and race timing. What you have seen on the video before is all those screens that you have in the race management system in the tower, and they're all based on AWS QuickSight, for example, so they see the entire insights into the event on those big screens, and all that data is coming from this beautiful device that you see here. That device is based on latest technology that you get in Asia. The device is designed by a UK company on our requirements from NTT side, and that's basically the heart of it works. We can track those bikes now while they are going with 200 miles per hour, and that's a unique thing that you will not find in the world, up to centimeters accuracy. And we are leveraging this to predict via artificial intelligence the time of every individual rider up to 1 second. Why is this important? Because actually the race management want to be sure that these races are going well, and that means if there's something unexpected, that the bike is slowing down or something like that, they want to know it up front, and that's basically what the solution provides. Okay, so I said we have the tracker here, we have the telco network, we push the data into a data lake, and we build APIs which first of all feeding all the race management and race timing, but on the opposite side also are available for social media, which are available for the TV screens, the live streaming of the event. So it is really the heart of the TT as it is built right now. Good. So the benefits, we have the real-time safety, visibility. We know at each moment not only the competitive vehicles, but the non-competitive vehicles, but all the race bikes. We know exactly where they are on the track, and this gives a visibility into race management that they are absolutely sure that the races are in a safe state. We use the real-time and historical data for predictability. It's what I said. So they not only know exactly where the bikes are, but they also know where they predict to be. So if there's something going wrong, there's a technical issue or something like that, they can notice that up front, and they potentially can react to it, and they can yellow flag the track or do something else. Then, of course, we have leaderboards, social media, television, the mobile apps, everything feeded by that engine that we actually built on this one. Good. So, what the future holds, and that's giving you of course, this data is now the heart of the TT. The TT is fully digitized with this one. But, of course, there is need for more. Currently, we are able to say, okay, this data and is feeding video feeds which are available to the public. So you can subscribe to, they call it TT Plus, is a channel that happens each time when a TT is, which is 2 years at the end of May, beginning of June. And you can watch these races live. What is missing is, of course, onboard covering from the bikes. And that's very tricky on the island. It's easy on a racetrack, on a normal racetrack, but it's very difficult if you just have a telco network underneath. So what we are currently working with them and with NTT NVI is to roll out over parts of the island a private 5G network that we are able to put cameras on the bikes, and that we can take all that video live feed also via the AWS platform and put that into the live streaming of the TV coverage. That's basically where the outcome of it is. The increased safety features, we explained already what we are doing. Of course, this is not ending, and also the AI ML journey. I'm sure that there will be additional things to come on this one. So that's basically the story about the TT. I think we still have a bit of time. If you have any questions, feel free. Otherwise, independent if it is about NTT and a technical solution, or if it is about motorbike racing, feel free to grab me somewhere and ask me for any kind of questions. I'm happy to contribute and support. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Guys, please fill up the survey if you can. Michael will be around Theta 4 if you guys have any question. And thank you again for joining the session.